Welcome back to Market Day Report. I'm Scott Schulte, otherwise known as the Cow Guy, right? So we're here to take a look at these markets for you. It's going to be, again, it'll probably be a quiet, but it could be volatile week. So I've got the yellow flashers on, making sure that you're going to take caution. This can be one of those times where a little mistake may actually just cost you a lot of money. So without further ado, let's take a look at what's happening out there. And these markets are your money. Let's take a look at that corn market. It's mildly better here today, 2.5 cents higher. And that D's contract at 573 1/4, and that's pretty much in the middle of the day's range. So comfortably quiet. March is up 3 1/4 cents at 580 1/4. Let's take a look at soybeans in Chicago. Soybeans are up 8.5 cents in that Jan contract, 1271 3/4. March is also up 8.5 cents, 1283 1/2. How about the wheat? The wheat in Chicago is going to be a bit better today. That's a decent double-digit gain. 17.5 cents higher in that D's contract at 840 1/2. We have an 8 cents higher, right? So that was a 25.5 cent gain at one point in time today. March is up 18 1/4 cents at 852 1/2. Here we go, moving right along. How about hard red wheat in Kansas City? 24 cents higher. There you go. 858 3/4 in that D's contract. March is up 25 1/4 cents at 863 3/4. Still about 6-7 cents off the highs there. So we have been doing better. Spring wheat, Minneapolis, 15.5 cents higher in D's, 1025. But look, we were 9 cents higher. We were up 25 cents higher on the day there. March up 16 3/4 cents at 1031 1/4. All right, and then let's talk about what's been happening in cotton. It's tacked on to its losses, 132 points lower to 117.90 in the D's, but we're hanging on that 115 level in March at 115.05. Let's bring in Todd Horowitz from Bubba Trading. Todd is a frequent guest of the show. Todd is in Chicago, surrounded by his wealth and all of his artwork. Okay, what are you going to try to read into this? I want to hear what you have to say. What's going on?
Well, it is a holiday week, Scott, so it's going to be quiet and whippy, and everybody should take notice and be very careful with the yellow flag out. But we did have Jerome Powell reappointed as the Fed chair, and maybe the markets aren't happy with that. Maybe they wanted Lael Brainerd to have more free money flowing in the system. But it did, I think, when the NASDAQ did a complete reversal, which is now down almost 100 on the day from being up almost 200, it did put a little pressure in the grain markets, but they're still holding up extremely well. So I would take that as a very positive sign for grains, not so positive for equities at the moment.
Yeah, you know, I saw that come across the tape as well, and I think there was obviously two camps. One of them, Wall Street really felt as though it was going to be Powell, but then a lot of other folks outside of Wall Street in Washington D.C. and some of the policymakers really felt like it was going to be Brainerd. So it looks as though he stayed with the safe pair of hands. Whether you can say safe or not, I don't know, but for sure. But there's going to be no change really, straight ahead. As far as how that affects the markets, you can obviously tell that the Dow likes it. But as far as our products go, look, I mean, I think we've kind of divorced ourselves from it in the short term here. I think that the markets are higher because there isn't any selling right now. I mean, that can be the case. And, you know, oftentimes, and I'll have you comment about this too, Todd, is that when we look at the markets every day, 10 times a day like we do, sometimes you get lost in the minutia and you really miss the big picture because we're trying to justify every 2 ticks higher, 2 ticks lower, when sometimes it's just noise and there isn't a lot going on. You know what I mean?
It's 100% correct, Scott. This is why I warn everybody, especially farmers and producers, you cannot watch these markets tick by tick because you'll drive yourself into an insane asylum trying to judge every single move that happens. And overall, the grains look really good. They look like they're in a solid uptrend, and they look like they're going higher. Will there be some selling days? Of course there's going to be selling days. But don't get caught up with the little stuff that happens moment to moment because you're not day traders. You are farmers or producers that own this stuff and are looking to find higher prices to sell it. So be happy that you're in an uptrend and don't try to figure it out tick by tick because, again, it's a very nerve-wracking business being somebody active in day trading, and that's why you have to be careful and not watch tick by tick.
Well, you should be careful because you could end up wearing a cow jacket with a big bow tie on every day. That guy's lost his mind, okay? So, all right, let's stay right there. We're going to go away, pay some bills, come back and talk livestock with Todd Bubba Horowitz after these messages. All right, welcome back to Market Day Report. I'm Scott Schulte, otherwise known as the Cow Guy. We have a family farm, and we had a dairy farm for I don't know, 10, 12 years. That was a tough one. I'll tell you that right now. That teaches you the value of work and money. But talking about money, let's take a look at some of what these cows can do. Let's take a look at live cattle. What do we got happening in live cattle? This is another one of those days where you just want to be a little careful about starting off on the short side of stuff, right? 77 cents higher in that D's live cattle market at 134.30. Feb is up $1.17 at 138.87. All right, how about this? Feeders, let's see what's going on over there. Tacking on some gains too, even though we've got a decently higher, well, we had a decently higher corn market. This Jan is up 85 cents at 161.77. March up 65 cents at 164.02. All right, see if we can go for the trifecta. Everything up. May lean hogs ruins it for us here, but we're pretty good. Deese is up $1.02 at 74.77. Feb's up 55 cents at 83.02. We have to go out the curb to find something negative, and it's only 7 cents in that May contract. All right, let's bring back in Todd Bubba Horowitz. Todd, what do you think about the cattle? Anything about the hogs? If not, you got something else you want to kind of sharpen your axe with? Floor is yours.
Hey, listen, I think they look good as well. Look, feeders, especially with corn higher and feeders are still higher today. I think the protein complex looks really solid, and I think we're going higher. You know, I think I think the sad thing is, Scott, is we have the salvation or the saving of the economy very simply by letting the frackers and the shale producers go back to work. And I think not only there, but you could also actually create enough money to actually finance some of this ridiculous debt that we've accumulated because the UK and Germany are starving for liquid natural gas, which we could provide easily if we decide to go back to producing ourselves and being a net exporter.
Yeah, that's the funny part is I mean, we have higher prices here, but not anywhere near what they're seeing in Europe. They generally do have a shortage, like you just said. Our problem is distribution. We have it. We just can't get it anywhere, right? We don't have the pipelines. We don't have the operations behind it. And that's a large part of what's been happening out there. It'll be interesting to see, especially when it comes to these producers and what they have to put on their crops. I mean, I'll take a look at it real quick here, but see what crude oil is doing. I mean, it's kind of come off the boil a little bit, right? We're below that $80 level, which was kind of psychologically significant. And then also with nat gas, if we can take a look at those two things, because, if we see our energy prices come down, I think all prices come down. So that's, I guess, what I wanted to say there. Energy's baked into everything. All right, thanks very much. That's Todd Horowitz from Bubba Trading in Chicago. Love having you on, Todd. If I don't talk to you, have a fantastic Thanksgiving. And I'm going to throw this one back over to Tammy.